Hey everyone, it's Kevin from OverAI, and today we're going to be talking about integrations within OverAI. So there are a number of reasons you'd want to integrate an external system to OverAI. Probably the most common one is that you have a key business system where you need to either read data, so just view data from that system in OverAI, or you can also write data from your apps and automations in OverAI back to that key business system. Um, so we assume that in most deployments of OverAI, there will need to be some sort of integration. There are two ways to integrate with an external system. The first one, which requires some configuration, is via the action runner. So the action runner allows you to connect to a system that maybe runs on-prem or does not have traditional APIs to work with, public-facing APIs. We'll cover that in a future video, and you'll also have an OverAI team member to help you set that up. But for now, we'll start just with the integration itself. So I'll go over here and I'm going to choose, you can see that there are many options with common SaaS products. I'm going to choose Slack because that's a product I'm pretty familiar with. And you can see the way that it works is that the integration itself is pretty minimal. So I'll just say this is company Slack instance. You can see that we have a sample action runner set up. In this case, it wouldn't really be useful because Slack tends to be a cloud-based service with very well-documented APIs. So we'll just leave that as is. And you can see some instructions here on how to use the Slack API and configure Slack so that it's ready to integrate in a scoped way so that OverAI will have the right privileges. You would import your OAuth token, and then you would save it here. So all that does is authenticate your Slack instance to OverAI. And so the next thing you're probably wondering is, how do I actually read and write from this? And there are really two places to do this. You can either do this through an automation. So what you would do is when any of these things happen, but I'll just choose a webhook because that's more generalizable, I'll start dragging this, and then I would choose send HTTP request from here. And I'll just hit this, and then you can see it's a very familiar user interface for setting up an HTTP request. The second, I'm going to discard this because it's not very important to me. The second is via a function. And since functions are just TypeScript code blocks, you have all the freedom that code allows. So yes, you could write the code to connect to Slack from that. Of course, my recommendation is not to write any of this by hand. It's just to use the architect. So the architect will tell you things like, where was it? Give you different options and then recommend the actual function itself. And of course, it will write the function as well. So all you have to do is use plain English to describe what you want to do with Slack, and the architect will be able to advise you on whether there are API endpoints that support that, and then it will configure your function or automation to support it.